Alrighty then, this is part two of the manual cleaning exercise of this Hamilton 992 movement. Beautiful, beautiful movement. And what you see here are a couple of jewels from, I think, the escapement wheel, maybe the pallet fork. Can't remember. But what I wanted to make a point of here is that in the cleaning, I just brought them out of the little lighter fluid bath, and that I'll grab one of these parts like this with my tweezers. These are very small, and I'll just use my air here to make sure that they're dried off. Again, lighter fluid will evaporate completely, so there's no issue of leftovers. So here we go. That's perfect, perfect, perfect. And I'm holding it with my tweezers to make sure there's no problems at all with that in any manner, in any way. Alright, I get a little bit of a close-up here for putting in this last jewel. So this jewel setting here is the, looks like it's actually gold, but it's the one for the balance staff. So this goes in the lower balance staff. Of course it let go. My wife just came into the driveway, which throws me off completely. I just need complete quiet when I'm doing this and concentration. So tomorrow will be a good day. I'll be all on my own. There we go. So that's in there nicely. And same as last time, I need to find if there's the witness mark. So you can see on this. Yeah, I think I can see it on this side. Yeah, so right there, you see a little dot. That little dot is the witness mark for putting this back in. I'll have to look at this really carefully to determine if I have which side I have that witness mark on. If I put it in like that, is that witness mark there, or is it on the other side? It's very hard to tell sometimes. Now often I'll just make one myself, which I probably should have done, which gets me my very own personal witness mark. No, I can see it on the other side. It's right there. So this has to go the other way, like that. So it goes like that. So I'll turn this around like this. And when I turn it back, it should line up perfectly with the witness mark. So again, a little bit of oil. There we go. And let's see if I can turn this around successfully. Try to keep that in camera here as I do this. But now I want to just make sure that that's lined up properly. I think it needs to go the other way a bit. This is the hard part actually, because it's fitting in there and you want to make sure that it's fitting in properly. That's probably good right there. Yeah, that's really good right there. So now I have to take my piece of pegwood here and push straight down on that. I'm not sure if I blocked the view, but I have no choice here. Here we go. You can see that that's down nicely. And you can see right there, I should sharpen this thing here so you can see it, but right there is the witness mark, right there. I need to sharpen the end of this pegwood. Right there. So, and when I took it out, I took this out, I had the screws. I believe the screws were like this. think they were anyway. And so when I put them back, I'm just getting a ridiculous close-up here for you, but not sure if it's really necessary for this particular job. No, I had it lined up. I had it lined up like that. And then I had the screws were top and bottom lined up the same way. Here's my finger, in case you're wondering how small that is. That's my guitar fingernail, so I apologize again. I've been apologizing for those fingernails my whole damn life, because I've been playing guitar my whole damn life. So that's a lot of apologizing. I remember sitting on the bus, and Susan Brackenier, I don't even know if she's alive anymore. Susan Brackenier looked behind and said, and screamed at my long fingers. I'm not sure if it was the fingernails or the length of my fingers, because I can palm a basketball, but that was Susan Brackenier. I should look her up and see if she's still around. With any luck, she would be. She'd probably be my age. But so that's it. That's the 3 settings, and now I just need to do the final setting. Would be this one here, the one that's part of the balance cock. So push that out, unscrew it, and push that one out. So this screw in the balance cock, this one right here, already looks like it's kind of out a ways. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But the important part when you take these screws out is that you've got your regulator pins underneath here, and you want those to be not free and not in the way. I was going to make a jig for this, where I could sit regulators on the jig and not worry about the distancing. Now with this hole here on my block, I can push the regulator all the way to the edge here, square it off, and the regulator pins are safe because they're in the hole here. And that's what you want. You don't want them to not be in the hole. So and I'm going to unscrew this here. So I think that the angles, I'm not sure whether you can see the unscrewing. I'm going to have to put the blade in and just look up at the camera. Yeah, I think you can see it. It's way on the edge though. See if I move it over here. And there we go. That's a bit better. And we still have a bit of a camera angle here, so I'm just going to unscrew that like this and pull that screw off. I use Rodico sometimes to remove the screws, but I'm just going to put this out of the way over there. This is the one that looked loose already. So maybe it just wasn't screwed in properly. I think there have been watchmakers in the past that have been kind of hacky watchmakers there. So those 2 are out. And I want to make sure I have a good witness mark on this one here, because I don't want this one to go in backwards. So I can see the witness mark on the side here, the little dot, and I'm not sure if that's a witness mark or just... Alright, there we go. That's good enough. It's barely visible. It's not visible to the human eye anyway. And now I should just be able to push the jewels straight out. And I don't have to worry about the regular pins when I'm doing this. Just find some steady ground here. I don't want the hole to be too big, because I want this thing to be steady, right? So maybe right here is good enough. Trying to line that up with the camera. Right there, and then push that straight down. Is that moving at all? Doesn't seem to want to move. I may pop this out with my jeweling set. Or pick a different hole. Alright, that doesn't seem to want to come out, so I'm going to get my jeweling set and set that up. Alright, this is my seats dueling set. I got it on my lap, but here we have the dueling set here. I don't need this. This is the device that you use for holding a setting in place while you're doing work on the setting. So it works quite well, actually. If you're doing dueling work on a setting, like trying to pop a jewel out of a setting, this is really good. So this works quite well. And this is the base of the dueling set. And then you have the plunger here, like that. It goes in like this. So that's the plunger for the dueling set. And then you have the pusher that goes in like this. And this is pushing down on the plunger like that. That's how that works. And then what I need to do is find the right pusher. And here we've got different types of pushers. So these things here, the plunge pusher here, they're pretty good because they're centered, right? So you get to pick the right size. So if I pick a 195, I just have to take what I'm pushing and make sure that it fits a 195. In this case, I don't need the plunger part on the top because they're spring loaded. I just need the pusher part. So I just need pushers. So in this case, I would be picking one of these, perhaps this one here. And as you can see, these things have a rim on them, so they're pushing on the edge of the jewel. They're not pushing on the jewel itself. So I could pick one that's a bit bigger than that, which is, I think, this one here is the biggest one I have. If any bigger, and it's getting to the plunger ones, which are just self-aligning. So I think this one will probably work. So let's just set all this up. So I want to pick a base where I know that the setting will fall through the base once it's aligned. So I'll pick this base here. It looks a bit bigger than the setting, so it should fall through nicely and without an issue. And then I think the plunger here I'll use is this one here, because it'll hit the rim of it and then press straight down. So I just need to set that up in the dueling set, which is this here. So I put this in like this, right? So that's set up there. And then I set this up, the plunger, to plunge down on it. I think that's the plunger I want. Any other plunger touches the jewel, and I don't think I want the jewel being touched at all. So there's the plunger there, so I can install it from the bottom here like this, like that, and there it's set in place. And I can also set this so when it plunges down, it stops around here, so it doesn't go any further than this position here. And I do that by changing the micrometer here. So I just do this. There's probably somebody at my boat. The thing makes noise when there's someone at my boat. Like that. And there I've got that set, so it'll stop right there. And if I push down on this while I turn this, I can make sure I've got the setting, the fine setting here. So that is right about there. So it shouldn't go any further than that. And now it's just a matter of lining everything up. So you want to make sure you've got it lined to center. So the center plunger is nice for that, but I can eyeball this pretty well as well. Right there is good, and that should push straight down without a problem. Let's just do a little praying first before I push. There we go. That thing was in pretty tight, so that's out there, so that's clear of that. And now I want to push it out the back. Hopefully it would be nice if it just falls out, but of course it won't. There's always something, right? So I think I should be able to push it out with my pegwood. I'm not sure how wide my pegwood is here, but oh, there it is. It just fell out. So it's all good. Let me look through the hole. Yeah, it's gone. It should have just fallen out, so it did. So there it is there, and there's should be two pieces there, and they're kind of stuck together, but there they are. And there's the setting and there's the cap. And you see that cap is gold. So it's beautiful, right? So that's how you get the setting out. So when I push it back in, I'll likely have to use the same plunger here to press it back into place. Or in this case, I could use a flat plunger to push it back in. The rims are nice on the plungers, that way they don't interfere with the jewel itself. So it's a little safer, I'd say. And I don't need I don't need this to push it back in. I just needed this to take it out. So that's that. Let me turn this around here. Put this in like that. That's just an adapter ring. So this is the Seitz jeweling set, S-E-I-T-Z jeweling set. Let me show you what that looks like. There it is there. And they're really good. Just love these jeweling sets. I have two of them. I've got the Mega Seitz jeweling set, which I really like. And I don't ever use it because it's just so nice. So I never have to use it. So, but when I put this jewel back in a few minutes, I'll have to use the jeweling set to push it in, I'm sure. So that's that. Now I have to take these very nice jewels here and throw them into the bath. You need to go for a swim and get all the oil and crap off them that's been there for a long time. Super important that these jewels are cleaned. Well, it's important that all of them are clean. There's where they go, and I'll also peg this out to make sure that it's relatively clean on the edges. And they were in there kind of tight, so I'm not sure why, but they were in very tight. So there should be no need to press that hard to get them out, but they've been in there probably for 100 years. So that is why I get that out of the way, and then work on cleaning these with my brush and my tweezers and other things. So let's clean these jewels. I'll get right back. So I did decide to wash the hands basically in the lighter fluid, because these are not painted hands, as I said earlier. They're blued steel. They're not painted. I was thinking of my watch hands, not these. So these can go into the lighter fluid without a problem. They had so much grease on them they were sticking together. So that's a lot of grease, my friends. A lot of grease. So these are going to be a lot nicer looking now without all that grease. And I think that they need to be demagnetized, because I saw that the second hand sticking to the other hand, they're fundamentally magnetized, which is not good. So we'll demagnetize those as well. And I don't think I'm going to need my brush for anything else. Let me just put it aside, and we'll let these hands dry off here on this watch paper without a problem. And I got the jewels now ready to be installed, so I can move those out of the way. They are so nice and clean. They're beautiful. Yeah, they're clean as hell. And I'm going to do a close-up here, see if I can hold this jewel right in front of the lens while I zoom in. And there it is. That is some kind of clean right there, folks. Some kind of clean. Now to get this setting back in, it's so deep in here. It's very deep. It goes all the way down to the end. So I'm just going to put it in like this and then roll it. And see if that'll just sit in on its own. Looks like it is, actually. That is a good thing. It was very hard to get. Yeah, there it is. So it's sitting in the seating really well. So there's no problem there. Maybe I'll do a little close-up for you there. Now this close-up is from the bottom part going up. So I just want to make sure that the setting is sitting in the seating. Say that 3 times. And fundamentally, I'm trying to make sure that there's no gap right on the edge there. Of course, I just pushed it out, but to make sure there's no gap on the edge when it sits down in that seating. So, and there was no issue. This thing is sitting there kind of loose, so there's not a big issue putting it back in. But it just goes in and it sits down, and there's no issue at all. So it's sitting in the seating, it's setting the sitting in the seating. That's what I want to make sure. See if I can see if I can tape this. Hang on. All right, there it is there. I'm going to take the setting and then just throw it in. Of course, when you try to do this, when you're under the camera here, I'm like pretty far away from it right now. I may have to just throw it on the mat and let it bounce. There, and that just goes straight down on both sides. And again, I want to make sure it's in there really good, so I'll take a piece of pegwood and I'll put it down the center. So I'm at an angle right now. I'm just giving you a close-up, so I want to make sure it's sitting down there nicely. Now for part 2 of this, I want to line this up. I've got to first oil it and then flip it around and then line it up to where the witness mark is. So I can see that witness mark right here, right there. So when I look at the gold setting here on the side, I want to push that down, and I can see there's a witness mark right there. So that's good. So if I flip this around like that, I can oil it on this side and then just put it down where the witness mark is. And maybe I can push it in without the jeweling, without the jewel or the seats jeweling tool. And maybe I can't, I don't know. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil on here. About that much oil on there. That's not a lot of oil. And I'm using 90-10 because this is where the balance staff is. I'm keeping my regulator pins over the top of that hole. So I'm having a look at where the where that witness mark is. I think it's right there. So I want to put this jewel in. Of course, my thumb is getting away of the screw here, so there's always something. I don't know why, but there's always something. So I want it in like right around there. I still have to turn it a bit here, so I'll grab it and see if I can turn that. Right around there, I think. Yeah, right like that, I think will do. Yeah, and I've got the witness mark on both sides, so when I press down on this, of course these gloves are a real pain in the ass because they make your hands slip. Yeah, that should do, but the whole darn thing is rocked at an angle, so I'm going to have to rock it back. That's not bad right there. I'm just pushing this down now with my pegwood to try to get it down in place. It's almost in place. I may not have to use the jeweling tool if I press hard enough with the pegwood. Man, that's a lot of pressure. Let me have a look on the edges here. It needs to go back on the back here. This back part needs to go down. Yeah, this is why it was so damn hard to put in. So I may have to use a jeweling tool to set this in, but I don't want to scratch the gold. That's the whole thing here. So now I've picked the right size pusher here. It could have been a flat pusher. I just wanted to make sure that it cleared the regulator pins when I put it down, like this. And then I picked a pusher to put in here right? This, I guess it wouldn't be the pusher. This would be the base or the anvil or something like that. But I picked another one that I could push down on, but I'm going to use a piece of watch paper on top of this so I don't put any marks on the gold setting here. Not that you'd be able to see them, but I'm pretty anal retentive. So what I'm going to do is bring it down without any stress at all. And then I'm going to do that. So I'm going to feed this pusher in first. All right, so now it's in there nicely. It's bottoming out there. I'll also make sure when it bottoms out, it's I guess I'll just put a bit of pressure on it and I'll know whether it's gone down too far or not, but it's going to hit here anyway. So when I put this over, what I want to do then is put the piece of watch paper over the top. So I'm going to just very carefully line this up without looking at anything, right? Of course, because of these gloves I'm wearing, the watchmaker's gloves, everything is slipping all over the friggin' place. So it pisses me off. I can't get a grip on this using fingers. I want to use fingers. Damn it. So there. And I just want to make sure that that's lined up properly. That would be lined up perfectly right there. So maybe I'll just press this straight down. It's not going to scratch anything. Does that work? Yep. It's in there nicely. It's in completely. So that's good. That's done. So that, folks, is a job well done. So that's in nice and flat. As you can see, perfect. I just need to put the screws back in. Not that they're providing anything. And then the next thing I need to do is straighten out that regulator pin just ever so slightly to make sure that that's in good position, in good order. So the outer regulator pin needs to go that way, just a tiny little bit, but I want to do that under control. So I think I need to have this somehow in a vise as I do this. Now the other thing I can do is the same thing ancient watchmakers did and use a very fine set of tweezers. See if I can bend them. I'm not sure if I can, but I'll see if I can do that. I don't know if I've got a good angle, but if I take it from the side and then press on the top, they don't need to be bent that much. Oh, I think I did it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to give you a close-up of this because I think I've got them bent now. And they look pretty horizontal right now. And I'll just show you a picture from the top. Alright, that's a better picture of the pins. So I've got a close-up here. So the pins are straight. The one on the outside, let me point to it. See if I can get my big ass tweezers in here. This one here was bent down this way. So there was no opening here at all. It was not good at all. So now I've moved it inward. I've moved it upward this way. And it has looked like it's spaced pretty good. I don't need to play with this one anymore. It's fairly parallel. And it looks they look pretty good. So that's I forgot I could do a close-up with my microscope. And these are the tweezers I use to bend those pins. Stainless steel anti-magnetic OC-9. These are incredible tweezers. They're made in Italy. They're Voila tweezers, original Voila tweezers. And if you look at the ends, look how well they meet. These are incredible tweezers. I bought a bunch of them at Cordon Tools. I think I bought 6 sets, and I think they're about $10 a shot. They're on sale, and they're a thing of beauty. So I use this on the end regulator arm here, And I use the edge of the arm here, as you saw, as leverage to kind of go like this as at an angle, and then press down, and so the upper surface of the tweezer would be in contact with the top of that pin and move it ever so slightly. So that worked. That was a good job. I like sometimes I like what I do. All right, that's it for now. It's 5:30. I'm tired. The movement, everything is ready to be reassembled. So I think I'm done. I just have to do the oiling and reassembly and oiling of this very nice 992 movement Hamilton pocket watch, and I'll put this video up right now. So thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for hitting like, and there's more to follow in the future. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.